What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Echo and the Bunnymen. We're going back to their 1980 album Crocodiles, and we're up to the title tune, Crocodiles. So crocodiles are predatory. For those of us who live, above the surface of the water, they are particularly dangerous because they, sit right at the surface level or even below, and so you're thinking you're totally fine until the last second, and then you're in trouble. Much like sharks, although obviously the types of waters that those two species are in tend to be different. But yeah, ultimately, given that it's a crocodile, I have to say we're talking old world, meaning alligators are a related species, which, I think it's independent convergence. I think they're not actually recent ancestors. Nevertheless, I don't think they share a recent common ancestor. But the point is, I think crocodiles are in the old world, or what is called the old world, which is, say, Africa, Asia, and Europe, whereas the Americas are, historically referred to as New World, and gators are that type of creature here. So here, because I live in North America. So yeah, I don't know if that bears any relevance, but ultimately, yeah, it does make me think about the geographical distinction between the two. And yeah, I guess, there are phrases that invoke crocodiles and crocodile tears because they can look like they're crying, but again, they're dangerous, they're predatory, and they're looking to kill you. So I suppose it could play off of some phrase or larger expression that includes the concept of crocodiles. But yeah, I'm interested in what it might mean figuratively or metaphorically, so let's find out. This is Echo and the Bunnymen. The tune is Crocodiles from the album of the same name, 1980. I love it. It's got that new wave post-punk energy. Song that sounds like right there. Crazy. London. The gators show up too. Unexpected but fantastic. As a general response, that's really funny. Amazing. That's a really great tune. Maybe my favorite from them so far. Certainly the most surprising from them so far, in that, again, going into this, The Killing Moon is the only tune of theirs I knew quite well. So ultimately, that's the sound I had, this, very 80s synth rock type of feel. But that's different. That's like early 80s, again, post-punk, new wave. I mentioned there's a moment where that, sort of instrumental interlude, it reminded me of the Misfits' London Dungeon, but overall it was reminding me of Duran Duran's Careless Memories. It had that type of energy, that type of vibe. And if you don't know, if you haven't watched any of my Duran Duran reactions, that remains one of my favorite tunes from them, because it has that early '80s. It's almost like a fusion of the early '80s new wave sound, but with a post-punk feel. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Again, there were some funny lines about, like, I think it was like alligator, but like clothing. So it's like playing off alligators and crocodiles, but yeah, I didn't hear enough to get a real sense of what's happening there lyrically. But his vocals were fantastic. Again, a little bit like what I would have known, again, being familiar with the Killing Moon, but more edgy, more gritty, and more, punk shouty in a couple moments than I would have expected. So yeah, real nice surprise of a tune here. Once again, shout out to Amber for making this stuff available. And yeah, we'll keep going through this one, and there's multiple albums to go through after that, including a couple that I already started reacting to before jumping back to this one, which I do think was the right decision. I've really enjoyed, hearing this early sound of theirs, in particular with a track like this, where it's like, okay, so now my understanding of who they are, even before we get to some of the, tunes that I've heard on later albums, has started to expand. So really enjoying that. Do let me know what you think of this one. I will see you next time. Peace.